Hey guys, this is Sounds a Geek, and today I'm going to talk about YouTubers and Nintendo. Now, I haven't been active in the community very much lately, but I just wanted to make this video. I see YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber saying that Nintendo needs to adapt or die, or that Nintendo needs to embrace the YouTube community, and that if it doesn't embrace the YouTube community, it's not going to go very far. I have news for a lot of you. Nintendo is a very old company. And Nintendo has been around a long time and will be around for a much longer time. I don't know if it'll be making video games, but a lot of people don't realize Nintendo does a lot more than make video games. And that video games, although one of their prime sources of revenue, they can move on from making video games if they really wanted to. And also, Nintendo is a lot less replaceable than YouTubers. This is why I laugh when YouTubers go to other video sharing websites because they have better profit revenues, or they say they're going to start their own service or go independent, or they don't need YouTube no more and that their audience will follow them. The truth is, audiences don't really follow. They don't. No matter how you try to phrase it, YouTube is the primary source of these people's entertainment. So they go onto youtube.com, and whoever they see, they subscribe to and that they like. And if that person just suddenly doesn't make videos anymore, they're not going to follow you. If you leave YouTube, you've lost that audience. You built that audience on YouTube. Just like a lot of people on Facebook, if they leave Facebook, their primary source of revenue from that piece of social media is gone, because they're not going to follow you to Twitter. And a lot of the people who will follow you already subscribe to you on that other platform. You will not get your entire audience to follow you, and the most likely thing is that you'll end up coming back. I've seen it happen over and over and over and over again, where people get this independent streak. I'm going to leave to Vidler. I'm going to leave to Vimeo. I'm going to leave to bit.tv or whatever, blip.tv. And every single time, it's just been a massive failure. The thing is that as long as YouTube exists, and as long as Nintendo games are popular, someone is going to make those videos, and someone's going to fill the void that you leave behind. Just because you aren't making the videos, and just because you don't want to take that risk, or you want to make that extra money, doesn't mean that someone else is not going to seize that business opportunity and see, wow, this dude is leaving thousands of subscribers at bay for me to pick up as an audience, because he will no longer make Nintendo content. So when you see people like Angry Joe and all this threaten to stop doing Nintendo videos and all that stuff, it's really for their own bottom line, because their income will be affected. Because here's a surprise, Nintendo videos are popular. Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, all these properties are some of the most discussed, interesting, and topics on the video game YouTube space. Why do you think the game theorists and all these other channels always talk about Nintendo stuff? And why do you think that Nintendo stuff is always the most popular? Because Nintendo's been around for years. They're classic icons. They're like Disney. And basically, if you even talk about them, you're going to get views. So when big YouTube stars see that they could lose out on that Nintendo money, they get angry and upset, and they threaten to leave Nintendo. But the fact of the matter is that if you don't make a Nintendo video, there are thousands and thousands of channels just waiting to capture your audience. So it isn't a fact of whether Nintendo has to adapt or die. It's the YouTuber. Will the YouTuber adapt or die? Because I remember when YouTube Partners came out and a lot of people stopped doing gameplay and just started doing vlog videos because you couldn't monetize gameplay at the time. And guess what? Those channels don't exist anymore, or their fan bases are almost gone. Whereas the ones that continued to do gameplay despite not being able to make money on it, and then they eventually were able to make money on it, they're thriving. So, it's all about compromise. Are you willing to compromise your audience for a little cash? That's a decision that you have to make, And, you know, there's always other sources of revenue. There's stuff like Patreon, which I don't really like, or Kickstarter, which I also don't really like. But they exist. And, you know, just because you can't get AdSense on it doesn't mean there's not ways to make money off of it. So, what content creators are going to have to do is either find other ways to make money off Nintendo videos, or they'll just have to stop doing Nintendo videos. But threatening and crying and whining, in 5 years, you're going to look ridiculous. And that's just the way it's going to be. I remember when YouTube wanted to introduce corporate channels and stuff to the website, and people were crying HuluTube, and that it was the death of YouTube and all this stuff. Real World News, I think it was the channel that did that. And in the end, they ended up being proven wrong, because the YouTube model of having people like me with a camera on my cell phone recording myself is pretty profitable, because even if a couple people watch this, the few megabytes it took to store this video and the couple of AdSense made off of it was worth it to YouTube, or it's so insignificant that of a cost to YouTube that it won't matter. So overall, I think YouTube's still going to dominate for a couple of years. I don't see a worthy competitor coming out of anybody. I think the only one that could pose a threat to YouTube and is Facebook. But Facebook has similar, you know, DMCA policies and auto detecting audio and all that stuff. So it's going to be the same thing, just in a blue website that everybody already visits. So basically, adapt or die. When I see people say Nintendo needs to adapt or die, or when I see people like Angry Joe complaining, basically it's the YouTuber that needs to adapt or die. You got to adjust your content. Sorry. Samuel out.